This is our grand finals of the KSL number 39, the second to last KSL of the year. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have Maturino Esports' Nightmare. And his opponent in the upper left, for Dragon Kitesy Gaming, it is Hero. Now, Hero has won, I think he's won 15 KSLs. Pretty sure that's the number he's on right now. Nightmare, though, I'll have to double check. Has Nightmare won any KSLs? I'm going to go out on a limb and say he has not won any. It looks like he's been in 2 finals, if I'm not mistaken. So this will be his 3rd finals appearance. He's lost to both Dark and a Hero, the 2 guys you expect to see in the finals. But no Dark today, so keeping it PvP across the board. Hero just came off of a nice win against Classic, who I do think has some very strong Protoss versus Protoss. But the thing about this matchup in general, but I feel like especially in Korea, it's such a coin toss in a lot of ways. A lot of players are very aggressive. They will do these big, heavy, aggro, like 3-gate robo builds and put a lot of pressure on. And it's kind of a coin toss if your opponent's going to do that. It feels like about half the time every player is at like a 50% just aggro build. There's some different variations, but they're all pretty aggressive. Hero went for like a Stargate into just 3-gate attack in the last game against Classic, and that worked pretty well. And it looks like Hero is going to go for another Stargate this game. However, he has not blocked his Nexus, so that gives him the opportunity to take that base. Oh, Adept's going to find the Stalkers here, or the Adepts are going to find the Stalker. You guys ever pluralize the wrong word? I feel like that's a misspeak that doesn't happen to me very often. Hero trying to catch a couple of Adepts here with the Stalkers, but ooh, in fact, it's going to be Hero's Stalker that's caught by Nightmares, and it's going to take some damage before getting out of there. Most of its hit points intact. Now, Hero has taken a base. Nightmare has neglected to take a base and is instead building a Prism on his 3 gates and a Robo. Like I said, pretty popular build. Most Korean PvPs involve this build from one side or the other, sometimes even both. It's actually been fairly rare to see neither player 3-gate Robo in a game for a while now. There was a period of time where it started looking like Korean PvP might evolve to be more like European PvP. We saw more macro, more like blink, you know, just like macro blink play, which is very European. But then all of a sudden, here we are this week with PvP all over the place, and everybody is just 3-gate roboing again. So I guess that macro period didn't last that long. Now Hero seems to know what he's up against, seems to have a good understanding of what he needs to do, which is just get out Immortals to get the defense going, as Nightmare is going to dive in here and start gunning down Stalkers, one-shotting these bad boys. The Immortal up on the high ground going to help out quite a bit, but a few Stalkers have already gone down. Now here's the Prism Micro out of Nightmare as he again tries to get that Immortal. Great movement from Hero, though, keeping that Immortal alive and just out of harm's way for so long. Oh, man, and Nightmare losing a bunch of Stalkers in these last few volleys. Kills one there. He kills a few probes, but Nightmare doesn't have a base. He needs to do more than just kill a few probes. And now with the Prism out, Hero, he's going to turn on the Super Shield Battery. The Shield Battery is still alive, and that's just going to be GG. Nightmare loses everything. Hero defends the 3-gate robo from Nightmare. And Nightmare, despite being on a really nice set of wins here, falls in game 1 of the grand finals. Hero is just, he's extra hard to beat in the finals. Excuse me for yawning. Forgive me. Game 2 is going to be on Solaris. We'll see if somebody 3-gate robos this game. The nice thing about the 3-gate robo being so prevalent in Korean PvP is it means, first of all, you get things happening very quickly, right? There's a little bit of harassment, and then there's a robo and a gateway going down. You're pretty much just ready to go. But also means the games usually end pretty quickly. One person is all in on one base, and the other person usually has an expansion. So, just like last game, once that push is held, not really anything you can do anymore. Nightmare could not expand at the end of that game. If he had expanded earlier, there's a chance. We have seen some players do that. That was decidedly not the case, and now in game number 2, spawning in the upper right-hand corner, it is Matcherino's Nightmare. Speaking of Matcherino, we do have a Matcherino page for this event. If you guys would like to check it out, exclamation Matcherino in the chat, or it will be in a link under the description. Check out that Matcherino page. You can add 25 cents to the prize pool just by clicking the claim code button. You can also add separate money to the prize pool if you want to boost the prize for these players and, you know, reinforce the Protosses. We'll have a lot of Protosses getting paid out in that prize pool. Or you can do like the sponsor quests. That adds a little bit of money to the prize pool too. All of that helps just offset some of the like transfer costs for moving money around, and really appreciate that Matcherino will still do that for events that get more clicks. They want more people on the page visiting the site. Even if you can't put the money in, you can put that 25 cents in. Makes Matcherino happy. It makes us happy. It makes the players happy. I like when I pay at a tournament and there's already like 20 bucks in there. Give the players a little extra chunk of change. Anyways, game 2 starting out pretty normal, pretty average. Just keep an eye out for the 3rd gate and the robo. Or any proxies. We haven't really seen many proxies today. Despite this now being the 5th PvP of the day. We've only seen one attempted proxy that was found and forced to cancel. So, not a lot of proxy action going on in these Korean PvPs. Nightmare just came off of a PvP against Cyan. Might try to cover that one after this, just to see what happened in that PvP. We're going to be very PvP focused today, it seems. Reminds me of my days casting European StarCraft, when it was just like all of the PvPs all of the time. The good old days. The good old days of the 6K Korean Protosses. Or the 6K European Protosses, I should say. Hey, look at that. Nightmare putting down a robo, but wouldn't you know it? Hero is also putting down a robo. Let's see what everybody's seen here. So Nightmare has been into the base a little bit, but hasn't seen the robo and the 3rd gate. 2 stalkers are hitting this now. Hero similarly has not seen the robo. There's no 3rd gate for Nightmare, though. It's an interesting choice. Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. It's right there. I was going to say it's an interesting choice. Less interesting now that he has made the same choice as everybody else. So we have the fabled 3-gate robo versus 3-gate robo. Now, Hero's into it a little bit quicker than Nightmare, because Nightmare did try to get those depths across the map, was trying to get some damage done with them. But wasn't really able to find too much. Hero's going to take a base. The 3-gate Robo expand build here out of Hero. I wonder how that's going to mingle with the 3-gate Robo of Nightmare, because I do not see a probe poised to take a base here for Nightmare. So this feels like Nightmare should just have a slight advantage moving forward. He's going to have 400 minerals more to spend on units than his opponent does. So we shall see. Hero, I think, got in far enough to see no Nexus. It's a little hard to tell. But I feel like he got in far enough with that probe to see that there's still no Nexus. And I feel like Hero's just in a good spot right now. If, that is, he can hold. Wait a minute. I'm going to say if he can hold whatever Nightmare's about to throw at him, but Nightmare's throwing a Nexus down, so. It's the easiest thing to hold. Nexuses can't attack anymore. They could for a little while. Do you guys remember when Nexuses could attack? I think that was a legacy beta thing. I don't know that that ever made it into actual play, did it? The Nexus overcharge? Maybe it did for a little while. I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. In the long, long ago. Nexus Overcharge was in the game? Okay, okay. I feel like it wasn't in there for very long, but again, I could be completely wrong. I have a really bad memory when it comes to some of this stuff. About like how long it was in the game. This is really nice for Nightmare. He's gonna try to sneak in with some of these adepts. So far they haven't really gotten anything done. I don't think they're going to here either. The wall from Hero ends up helping him out so much. And the Stalker defense doing a great job. One of those adepts died. Whew. Meanwhile, Hero dropping 2 immortals on the other side of the map. And Prism taking some big damage, but ooh, it goes down. Hold on, no buts here. Hero's gonna clean up every single Stalker and then just recall out of there when nothing's doing damage to his immortals. Kills a bunch of Stalkers, loses the Prism, but that's a great trade for Hero, who is now up quite a bit of army supply. Remember, his base was a lot earlier, so his mining is just gonna be better. Not hugely better, but definitely better. Also killing all those Stalkers. 5 Stalkers going down. Really eating into the army supply of Nightmare. Hero's going to try to take advantage of that with his 3 immortals and move across the map. Nightmare does have 2 immortals and a shield battery, so might be a little tough to crack. He's a tough knight to crack, you know what I mean? Ooh, cheeky little force fields here, though, out of Hero, and the fake Colossus, too. I don't know if that's good, but it's kind of fun. And Hero, I feel like he's starting to chunk through here. I think he's just going to have too much. Nightmare doing his fancy micro with the Prism, but there's just not much he can do against this. I think that's just GG as that last immortal goes down. Nightmare doesn't really have anything. Stalker's coming down from the main. Probe's getting pulled, but there's so much stuff here for Hero. And that is GG as Hero goes up 2-0 against Nightmare. Hero too good. All right, so the Nexus overcharge, that was the Photon overcharge, of course, with the Mothership Core. So the Mothership Core would turn that on. That was how it defended. Right, okay. When did Pylon overcharge become a thing then? Because didn't it? Oh, no, wait. Oh, it was Pylon overcharge was the thing in the beta then, was it? And the Nexus overcharge was what made it to the game? Dude, these are things that like I really feel like I should just fully remember. But the brain just doesn't want to do it. Doesn't get it. Maybe I'm too tired. I'm going to blame it on being tired. I think Pylon overcharge was the thing in the beta then. I feel like maybe I've just gotten my things mixed up here. And the Nexus Overcharge is what stuck in the game. The Photon Overcharge. Yeah, oh man, the Mothership Core. How could I forget the Mothership Core? Such a classic StarCraft unit. That's how you knew the Protoss was F2ing, is if the Mothership Core went across the map. Whenever I played Protoss back in those days, that Mothership Core was all the way across the map, all game. Never went home once it went across the map. Anyways, getting to game number 3 here. A couple players who probably don't use F2 all that often. Just occasionally. In the upper left-hand corner of Oceanborn, it is Maturino's Nightmare. His opponent in the lower right, it is Dragon Kitesy's Hero. It's fun thinking about some of the things that have changed in this game that would feel so clunky now, in a way. Things like researching siege mode on siege tanks. It just feels so like, oh, that's unnecessary. Of course siege tanks should come with that. Like, you had to research siege mode for the first 3 years this game was out. They didn't change that until, I think, 2013. Is when it changed. I think when HOTS came out, they changed the siege mode. I actually remember playing 2v2 back in those days. And my 2v2 strat was to, and you guys should write this down, it's a good 2v2 strat. Build Marines. Just attack with Marines. It was just like an in-base 5 racks or whatever it was. And you just walk across the map with Marines. It was pretty good. If your teammate went with you, it was really good. And then when they gave siege tanks siege mode straight off the bat, you like couldn't do it anymore. If your opponent made like a single tank, you just died. So I remember when that happened, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do it anymore. Siege tanks are so OP, they're too good defensively. Not fair. Look at this, a 3-gate Robo. And I love this from Hero too. It's all on one pylon because Hero, I don't know if you guys know this, Hero is a huge Artosis fan. He loves Artosis, dude. He thinks that Dan is just the coolest dude. And so he wanted to be like him. He left that pylon there, but you know what? Hero also, truly, he's a Tastosis fan. So he's got to put down the Tasteless pylon too. And I can't blame him. I'm a huge Tastosis fan. Those guys are lovely. They're the best casters in the game. Been doing it for about 30 years. And, you know, if you're going to have an Artosis pylon, you got to put a Tasteless pylon right next to them. They belong together. Just like 3-gate Robo belongs in every PvP. No, Nightmare is going to have to defend this Nexus against the 3-gate Robo. He's got the Robo on the way on his side of the map to try to get some Immortals out. And we'll see if Hero can crack him before that happens. A lot of Stalkers. Oh, man, it's a lot of Stalkers. Sentries warping and the force field's going down. Is that going to be enough, though? Super Shield Battery turns on. The Prism takes a lot of damage, but that's a lot of damage that was not on Stalkers. Looks like the Stalkers can't quite one-shot, but they will two-shot these enemy Stalkers. Oh, good pullback there from Nightmare. Keeps a couple of these Stalkers alive that maybe shouldn't have stayed alive. Buying time for that Immortal to get out. There is still full energy on the shield battery, but it has no overcharge available. Oh, the Immortal gets jumped on. Oh, and down it goes. 1, 2, 3 shots. How many licks does it take to get to the center of an Immortal Tootsie Pop? The answer is 3 crunch. And it looks like, speaking of 3, Hero is going to take the 3-0 victory over Nightmare. GG. And Nightmare, despite an excellent result today, getting to his 3rd KSL Finals, taking down both Byun and Cyan on the way here, but can't do it against Hero, man. And you just can't blame him. Hero, he's just too good, man.